six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 232 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler. I am doing okay. Lots of positives this week. After going through the work week and doing all the slog and stuff. You know, it was kind of funny. I had to do a couple different tasks at my work this week, where it's like I simultaneously had to dust off a couple of ramps and stuff that we had to put out in the store. And on top of that, the same day I had to literally do maintenance on a handicap sign because somebody had taken the sign completely off of a pole. I think I'm not too sure whether they the bolts or something like that just popped off or something like that, but I literally had a handicap sign in my hand and I was trying to find some nuts and bolts in order to screw it into a fucking pole. So I did that. It took me like freaking 5 minutes. The only thing that was the hardest part was trying to find the freaking thick screws without any washers or something. But yeah, I fixed the sign, handicap sign. But that's not just the regular positives. Today was a lot of positive stuff too. For one, I found out that I can download all my Wii content back, you know, the virtual console games that I had, and then like the WiiWare stuff. I could re-download them on my Wii U. Because when I did my maintenance of my Wii U, like about a year and a half or so ago, I had to reset my Wii system, and I thought I'd lost my virtual console games. So yeah, decided to just, like, I was just thinking about it over the week. It's like, can I actually do that? I'm going to try it. And all of a sudden, it just worked. It's like, okay, I'm going to play some games.
Nice.
So the other positive was after I would think about 3 or 4 months inside of a pawn shop layaway, I went ahead and I got out my computer. So at the moment, I believe it's like a 2016, like 20, God, it must be like about a 24, 26 inch like laptop.
Nice. So
it's not so bad and stuff. I probably am going to be trying to be in the ballpark of trying to replace the battery. You know, the internal battery of the thing is probably not going to be that expensive to replace. So it's just saying that it's just the battery charge is a little bit lower than what it should be, quintessentially. So I'm looking up on Amazon. Some of them are not really all too bad to replace. Maybe like about maybe $20 or $25. Just nothing too big. But
right.
The fact of the matter is, now I got myself a working laptop to where if I want to make some content or if I want to go through and stream some stuff for Extra Life, which that was the major reason why. Not only did I did that, but getting my Elgato, all that stuff just like piled in. Yeah. Oh, yes, sorry. The random Sticks reference of the week.
Yes.
So
it's going on. This is a 232nd week in a row we've had a Sticks reference. You guys, it's the longest streak no one knew about.
Oh man, but other than that, man, it's actually been quite of an awesome day. How have you been, Tyler?
I'm doing all right. Okay, crazy work week as always. But kind of a crazy day. Saturday, of course. I took Louie to the pet groomer for the first time ever today.
That bundle energy.
Yeah. First time I ever took him to the groomer. Take him since we got him. Take him somewhere. And he hasn't been we've been apart, but he wasn't home. Like usually, I go to work every day, and he stays at home. It's whatever. But I actually dropped him off at the groomer and then left him.
Okay.
So we were apart for 2 hours.
Okay.
And I am proud to say I only cried for 118 of those minutes. So it was a rough 2 hours. I didn't know what to do. I've never been in this. I haven't been in this house for almost 2 years without him here. Usually he's just like around me 24/7 when I'm home. But he wasn't. But he's home now. He's looking good. He smells nice. His skin, his fur is really shiny, and it feels really soft. It's nice. I like it.
Give it a day.
Yeah, give it a day. Give it a day.
Give it a day.
I'm just happy. Like he's not gonna go out. Like eventually, it's rainy here, so I imagine eventually he's gonna like walk outside and roll in the mud or something and ruin it. But no, it's cool. He's home. And then also my family got a dumpster, a 15-foot dumpster to get all the garbage and shit out of the house that's been building up over the last 5-6 years or so.
Damn.
And we were throwing out some boxes and stuff in the basement. And when I got my Wii long time ago, over a decade ago, I gave my GameCube and pretty much all my games, to my sister. When she was younger. And come to find out, we didn't have the GameCube anymore, or I couldn't find the GameCube, but I found a bunch of like old GameCube games.
Yeah.
I found WWE Day Reckoning 2. I found Donkey Konga.
Okay.
And the drums. I found the
Nice.
drums. Yeah, those were in the dumpster. But I thought, I'm like, ooh. If I would have found the GameCube, I probably would have like plugged it in one more time. Just to play Donkey Konga. But yeah, it was kind of, it's all gone now. But it was, I'm like, I had like some nostalgia. I'm like, oh man. I could probably play some Rock Lobster on hard and still get 100% right now in Donkey Konga. It's fucking all mental at this point. I played that song so many times in there. Do 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 do. We were at that beach. Everybody had matching towels. Sorry. Now we're gonna get hit on YouTube for copyright because of that. Rock Lobster. Sorry. But no, it was kind of cool to see that, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how many hours into that game. Just the first one, and it had like 20 songs on it. You know, I beat the shit out of those drums though. God damn, that game's good. Sorry, I'm reminiscing about Donkey Kong again. It's been a while, but man, that game's good. Anyways, sorry about that trip down memory lane for you guys. But I want to get some things out of the way before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show. First up, Extra Life. I'm going to mention it every week here on out until mid-November. But it's coming up. It's 4 weeks away as of today, as of recording.
Yes.
If it was 4 weeks from now exactly, it would be 11 p.m. Central Time. Now 11:01, just switched on me as I said that. And I would still have an additional 10 hours left to go. Actually, scratch that, 11 hours, because it takes place on daylight saving times, because it's a 25-hour marathon. Some people haven't been listening to the show very long, or maybe don't actually know what it is. Extra Life is a really cool charity that extra-life.org is where you go to check it out at, where we raise money for sick kids. All the money goes to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. You sign up, you get to pick the hospital. It's any hospital in the United States. Fortunately, they stopped doing worldwide hospitals. It's only the United States ones. But every dime that you raise goes to those hospitals. Currently, I'm raising money for the Iowa City Hospital, and Gables is raising it for the Seattle Hospital.
Yep.
It takes place on Saturday, November 4th. Once again, 25 straight hours of gaming. Website says 24, but I'm doing 25. I don't know if it used to always say 25. Now it says 24, so I don't know what they're doing now. But I'm still going to do 25 because of the daylight saving time. But yeah, you go on there if you guys want to support us and raise money and donate money to us. You're more than willing. We'd love you if you did it. I'm Tyler Courtney on there. You can just go to the page extra-life.org and go search for player, type my name in, and click on the big donate button. And if you want to donate to Gables, it is Gabe Bagno. If you don't want to bag, just say no. Still, it's the funniest thing you might have ever said to me. That was like 4 years ago, and I still laugh at that. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in donating to us, we greatly appreciate it. Or if you're interested in signing up yourself, that's great. I don't really care if I get the money or not, just as long as people are aware of it, people are raising money, and just if you know anybody that's gaming that might be interested in doing something like this, tell them about it. It's a cool thing that more people should do. I think last year they raised over $10 million.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the money they raised came on in one day, so on game day. So yeah, cool thing going on. That's coming up in 4 weeks exactly. It's my least favorite day of the year, as I say every year, and I'm excited for it. But moving on, we're gonna jump into some news actually real quick. Knock that out real quick. Not a lot going on this week. Kind of had to pull some stuff together. Just not anything crazy. Everybody's busy making games or releasing games right now, or preparing to release games. So news is kind of slim, and it might continue to be slim for a while, which is fine with me personally. I'd rather have games to play and then talk about games that are coming out later.
Oh yeah.
So first up, not really a lot to say about this, but Inside, which came out last summer, it was on Justin and I's top 10 games of the year. I think it was like 9th for me. I think it was Justin's like 4th or 5th, maybe. It was a little higher. I can't remember exactly. But it was in our game of the year for 2016. Excellent game from Playdead, makers of Limbo. Their game is officially coming to the Switch. Inside, once again. No details exactly when that might be. They haven't given no release window, no screenshots, no gameplay. They just kind of a press release coming out saying they're making it for the Switch. Not too terribly surprising. Pretty much, if you are a small indie developer, using quotations there, your game, whether the game's been out for a year or two or not, that game's coming to the Switch. So yeah, great game. It means more people that might have missed it are gonna play it. Check it out for the first time, hopefully. And even if you did play it, there it is on the Switch. Check it out again. It's an excellent game. Gables, did you play this game?
I have not played Inside still, and I definitely do need to, considering that Limbo is one of my favorite games that come out from last generation.
Yeah, Limbo is excellent.
Dude, it would be freaking excellent, though, if they did release it as a compilation package like they did on PS4 and Xbox One. You know, with Limbo and Inside, that would be excellent.
Oh, yeah, I could see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if they did. That makes too much sense, because they did re-release Limbo for PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
a couple years ago. So yeah, I hope that's the case. But I thought it was quite a cool thing. It's a game that we talked about quite a bit last year on the show, and I felt we should have mentioned it again because I want more people to play these games. They're great, and I can't wait for the next game. Moving on. Next topic. So Horizon Zero Dawn. I talked about it a lot at the beginning of the year. It's spoiler alert, it's going to be one of the higher rated games in my game of the year list as of right now. Obviously, we're at the beginning of October. There are 5 excellent games still to come out in the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
If you've listened to the show long enough, you know what those are. For me personally, there's 5 great games, and then November, and there's a whole nother topic on top of that. But anyways, they're releasing a complete edition on December 5th. It's going to be $50. And the complete edition actually comes with the base game, and it comes with basically what it is. It's the digital deluxe edition. It comes with all that content plus the Frozen Wilds, which is the DLC expansion pack that comes out on November 7th. And I think that's $20 alone, $15 if you pre-ordered it and you're a PS Plus member. So a pretty good value. I actually purchased the digital deluxe edition. That's tough to say really fast. When the game first came out, it was $70 then. And it came with a bunch of extra bows and costumes and like packs and stuff you can in the game. And then I also bought Frozen Wilds. I pre-ordered it, so that's $15. So $85 in content I put into it. Not complaining. I love that game. I every penny I put into it is well worth it. But basically, you can get all that for $50 on December 5th. Something I want to point out because that game was excellent, and I hope you guys play it before then. But if you guys are waiting for a good deal, that's a good deal to get, because it currently, I think it's still going for, if you want the all that stuff, I think the digital deluxe edition is still $60 on PlayStation Network. So I want to point that out there because I know Gables, you played this game.
Yes, I have. I have played it for a little bit.
You should play it for a lot of it.
I know I should be playing for a lot of it. Like I said before, man, Horizon Zero Dawn, man, it's an excellent game. Even for what little I've experienced of it, I have enjoyed it. And just take this world from me. It's like you're not getting anything like terrible in this package at all, man. Especially since they're going to be adding the DLC stuff with this like quintessentially a pseudo Game of the Year edition, like just before the end of the year. That's going to be a new one by me. But at the same point, you're looking at content that's going to last you for like at least a few weeks, if not more, if you even go through the DLC stuff. So it's definitely a hell of a good deal, especially if you just pick up your PS4 or you're thinking about it in the next couple months or two. Go for it. Get it.
Yeah. Game's excellent. I put about 30 hours in this game, and I beat the game, but there's so many side quests that I didn't get to that I wanted to get to, but too many other things were pulling me away at that point in time. But I'm excited about the expansion. And this is kind of a new fad, I think, that's going to be happening in gaming. I don't know if it happened last year or previous years or not. But something I noticed, we talked about a few weeks ago, Resident Evil 7 is actually releasing the Gold Edition in December. I think it's like December 12th or 7th or something like that. And it's basically Resident Evil 7 with all the DLC packed into it. And I think that was $50 or $60 too. So this might be a new thing where like a big AAA game that's got high praise comes out in the first few months of the year. They re-release it right before the holidays to get that extra little boost to this. I hope Resident Evil 7 got great praise. Horizon Zero Dawn, great game, got once again equal praise if not more. So makes sense. Remind everybody that this game exists and from sell it with everything in it for a little cheaper price. Yeah, I'm cool with that. This is a cool fad. I'm not patient enough to wait 9 months to play that game, but yeah, that's cool. Next up, so Nintendo is now actually pushing for. They want to produce 2 million Switches per month now for the rest of the year, at least for the rest of the year. Currently, so what's going on is, I think when they initially announced, when they first started talking about the Switch, the original plan was to sell, I think, or not sell, but ship 10 million Switches worldwide in the first 12 months.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about, so kind of a quote from the article on GameSpot here is, to help meet the high demand for the console in Asia, as well as meet Nintendo's target production numbers in 2017, the company is aiming to reach 20 million units shipped. Shipped, not purchased, shipped. Nintendo Switch consoles are still in short supply in Japan and won't be available in Taiwan until December. The console is expected to launch in China in early 2018. The console in 2 countries, whatever. Anyways, that's kind of the main gist of the article. But basically, to help get the target audiences out there, the current markets they're in, get those people that want the thing in their hands. They're pushing hard now to get those out there, and then plus they're going to China in 2018. So a lot of stuff to cover in a short amount of time. We're early October. But it's getting the holiday season. It's going to probably be the hottest selling item
Yes.
as far as electronics go this holiday season. Obviously there's going to be some toys that are bigger, but as far as electronic, maybe up there with like the iPhone, probably the most requested thing on people's Christmas list.
Oh yeah.
So this is really cool to hear. It feels like, and I hope this is the case. We talked about a couple weeks ago or last week, I think it was actually, with the SNES Classic about the way it launched was. It didn't hit. It was still short supply, but it felt like a normal console launch.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, yeah, it's gonna sell out now, but hopefully later on it's gonna be easier to find. Blah blah blah. And it feels like this might be kind of what they're doing again here with the Switch. It was like, this is hot, guys, and it's the case where they got to strike while the iron's hot. Like, people want this thing, so we gotta get this in as many people's hands as we can, because who knows, this time next year it might not be that big of a, hopefully not the case, but it's not going to be, But this is the hottest it's probably gonna be the first winter it's out for. But anyways, you want to get this out there to people as it's like a super wanted thing. So hopefully this is gonna be easier to find, and kids that want this for Christmas, get it.
Yeah.
This is a good way to do it. I mean, it's not all going to the United States. Obviously, it's gonna go to Europe, Japan, and obviously it's gonna be those are the 3 big areas I want to go to first. But yeah, this is cool. I'm happy to hear this.
Oh yeah, I am too. It's like the Switch has been a major success inside the U.S. since release. Constant sellouts, constant great games coming forward, like month after month. This is the type of launch that they should have had initially when Wii U first launched. Definitely a major improvement, though. And I got to admit, though, even with how much is left of this year still, I got to admit, it's really impressive the way 1 year can turn around a company in terms of, like, say, the games that they produce with the stuff that goes forth right there. It's like, yeah, man, from perspective, last year we were just talking about little things of, like, the games that are released in the time, like Uncharted 4, Doom, all this and all that, plus the whole spiel with, like, the PlayStation 4, like, Pro releasing and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden it's like, we go forth with the Switch this year, it's getting another couple bundles before the end of the year, too. That's also going to drive up some sales with Mario Odyssey. Pardon me, Galaxy was Wii. And already on top of that, with like the Switch 2 bundle that's currently at retailers, I still see at least a couple of them that are still on sale at my store now regularly. So that's a major improvement than what initially was a launch and stuff. Man, it's just fantastic right now to be a Nintendo fan, because you got things almost on all sides. You got your handheld stuff that's constantly being satisfied, though, with the 3DS. I mean, that 3DS, man, constant library going things. But with Switch, you got great games to play at the moment, so like Breath of the Wild. You obviously got little re-releases of like last like Wii U's concepts, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and like Pokken Tournament Deluxe and stuff. Mm-hmm. But the original content is coming, and it's still there. Like I said, Mario Odyssey releases by the end of this month, so it's definitely happy to see the fortunes of what Nintendo's doing at the moment.
Yeah, and Fire Emblem comes out in like a week, I think.
Yeah, I forgot about
Warriors.
That game.
I think everybody has, sadly. But no, it is kind of interesting actually when you said that, like how great it's been, like this really since March, the last 8 months, 7 months. When you think about like this show's been going on for about 4.5 years, and
yeah,
I go back and I've been listening to the old shows, like the original shows as I re-release them, and like listen to bits and pieces of them, and it was kind of interesting just kind of over the course of this podcast, like there's not really been a lot of positive news with Nintendo.
No,
like there's been some positive stuff with the 3DS here and there, like some great games coming up here and there, but like you really think about like outside of like a stretch, like a 6-month stretch in 2014. When like Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, Smash Brothers, Bayonetta 2, a few games. Really, outside of that, like it's been pretty depressing as far as Nintendo goes. Like as far as games and what's going on with them. Like I remember you mentioned like a while ago, about a year ago or so, about how basically Nintendo gave up on most of 2015 and the entirety of 2016.
Yes, they did.
Quarter of 2017 when they announced the what was it called, like the DX or no DX, what was the original code name for this damn thing, the Switch?
Oh my god, the original code name for the Switch, oh my god,
NX.
It was the NX, yes.
Yeah. Like that, I remember they announced that, and it was like, I think it was like late 2014, early 2015 or something like that.
Yes.
And announced the NX was coming, and then at that point it was just like, well, the Wii U's dead, and that's pretty much what it was.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, they basically gave up on 2 years, without some other than a handful of games, for this, and so far it's working out for them, and I hope it continues on. We talked about it back in, I want to say July or August. It was after the previous quarter. They were at 5.5 million sold Switches, and August was their biggest sales month, and we don't even know how many they sold in that point. So it's interesting. We'll find out here in a couple weeks when the new quarter when they come out with the Q quarter two, 2017 report, we'll find out how they did. So, but it seems like it's killing it. We haven't got to the first holiday season yet, so hopefully they can keep up with the demand to a certain extent. They won't be able to entirely, but it's off to an awesome start, and I hope they can. I don't know how they're going to keep pace because it seems like they went guns blazing in the first 9 months of the console. But I'm curious what 2018 is going to hold for the Switch.
I am too. It's what's kind of interesting is the Switch console itself. I know they've shipped about 20 million units and stuff from what this news report and stuff has been going.
That's what they're going for this.
That's what they're trying to go for. My apologies. Yeah. That's what they're trying to go for. 20 million shipped, and it's going to be crazy in the span of since March if they happen to sell enough to just outsell the lifespan of the Wii U in just 6 months. That would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Wii U, the final kind of tally of it was like around 12.7, 12.8 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and after 4 months on the market, they were already at 5.5.
Yep.
So, I mean, they got a good shot of it in the first 9 months or so of the console to at least get close to it, which is awesome and depressing for the Wii U at the same time. As great as that console was, and should have been. But anyways, moving on. This is a kind of a non-video game thing, but I think this is kind of something that's kind of up our alley. The trailer for Pokemon I Choose You. It's the 20th movie in the series of Pokemon since it started. They are kind of it dropped a few days ago. The trailer did. And basically, with this movie, the purpose of this movie is it's kind of like a reimagining of the kind of like the reimagining almost of the series, at a certain extent. Like the first episode of Pokemon from 21 years ago. Mm-hmm. Ash getting Pikachu, not liking each other at first, and then becoming friends. And at the end of the first episode, he sees Ho, and never went back to that after the 21 years later. Had never really gone back to that whole thing. And it seems like now it's like, so they're reimagining based off the trailer, like, again, they didn't like each other, but they see Ho, and now it's like the journey through things, like he's still going through like the 21 years of journey, but he's still 10 years old. And he's actually going to go try to finally find that mythical Pokemon that he saw all those years ago. For us anyways, maybe who knows how long it's been for him. But we both watched the trailer.
Yes.
I personally every now and again I'll go back and watch like some episodes from like the original few seasons, the ones I can find streaming wise, and like it's fine, it's whatever. It's not as great as it was obviously when you're a kid, but I'm actually kind of excited for this. It's giving me that nostalgia feel like I did when Pokemon X was released, or when they re-released Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue last year on the 3DS. Like, I'm getting that feel. Like, I'm like, oh man, I want to watch this because I want to see, like, I remember all these moments, like all the moments they show in the trailer. Like, I remember those moments. I remember watching that when I was a kid, and they're bringing that back, and they're finally gonna like tie up that moment from that first episode all these years later. It's like that looks and sounds awesome to me. What about you? How'd you feel watching the trailer?
Kind of like the same feelings as what you had. I felt really nostalgic and stuff like that. I do love the little added touches that they made with Ho-Oh and stuff like that, and all the other like moments and stuff. All the things of the first episode of the Pokemon anime were pretty much there in the trailer. Ash meets Pikachu. Ash gets shocked by Pikachu. He fights against a bunch of Spearow. That all of a sudden he sees Ho-Oh at the end of it when he saves Pikachu and this and that and stuff. So pretty much that's kind of common knowledge as like a Pokemon fan. But just seeing some of the new stuff that's inside this trailer has me kind of excited about it. Because you have like issues where you have like sort of like points where Pikachu's battling against one of the current like I think legendary Pokemon or something that you can't really gain access to right now. Marshadow I think it's his name. Then you have like little random other types of like friends and stuff. That's just the thing about this. It's quintessentially feels like a reboot of the telling of Ash Ketchum in terms of how not only did he encounter Pikachu and stuff, but also like some of the people that he meets, some of the battles that he has and stuff. It's more or less updated to like, say, 20 years or so in the future, currently. Because even in the trailer, I see a lot of different Pokemon that were not in the Kanto region from that extent. So, you know what? It's got me feeling pretty excited to see how it's going to go.
Yeah. It was kind of, cool. Like, see, they showed, like, Charmander being out in the rain, trying to hide his tail from going out. And, like, that was one of the first few episodes of the original show. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I remember crying like a baby when I fucking saw that episode when I was a kid. And it's just, like, it just hit every nostalgia thing. And also seeing some of the new stuff, like, I'm not going to pretend like I have the knowledge anywhere near like you do, Gables, but it's like, oh, cool, they're doing it. Like, I thought initially maybe it was just like they're going to like, it's going to be the first few episodes, they're going to like redo that, but it's actually like they're covering everything, so that's cool. So basically what's going on with it, it looks like is it's coming out November 5th and 6th in theaters for 2 days only. I'm not going to that because I want to feel like a pedophile, but other than that, I would go. But
why would you feel like a pedophile going into a fucking animated film? I have a pretty good
feeling I'm going to be the only adult there without a kid.
And all of a sudden you just cry.
Yeah. It's like, Charmander! Anyways. So.
And the parents look over at you. It's like, what the fuck did we just watch?
Like, his tail goes out, he dies. What don't you understand? But no.
Just the vision of adult Tyler going inside of a theater with Pokemon playing on this. It's like, Shah! It just sounds amazing.
Oh, I'd go with you, Gables. If we can go together, I'd go. I would cosplay as Charmander and I'd go with you.
Oh my god!
Just to embarrass you. Oh
fuck!
Oh man, yeah. No. So basically, it's supposed to come out for those 2 days. I don't know when it's coming out, like digital or DVD or Blu-ray, anything like that. But I feel like as soon as that comes out, like to buy or rent, I'm gonna check that shit out because that sounds incredible. Yeah, it's it's great. It's fun to love something from your childhood again. And for the third time in 3 years for me, they're bringing me back. Pokemon, like I said, Pokemon X, Y, and then Pokemon Yellow, Red, Blue last year. Just a couple weeks ago, Pokemon Gold and Silver, and now, bam, here we go with Pokemon I Choose You. So that's pretty awesome.
You know what, Tyler? It just says volumes about the content and the quality of the series as a whole since its initial reveal. It's like, what is it like? Almost 20 years since we were first introduced to a lot of us. Yeah, it's about 19 years currently, like for the U.S., but it's been almost 20 years since Pokemon first released, and we're still thinking about it, talking about it, watching, playing. That's crazy.
Actually, it would be 21, because I remember last year when Pokemon Yellow came out, it was the 20th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
Thing, so. Yeah, but I thought it was kind of cool. But another thing, and we were laughing and giggling about this before the show. You're going to have to help me with the pronunciation of it. Okay. But basically, McDonald's, people don't know, Rick and Morty, television show. Everybody loves it.
Yes.
I watched the first season and a half. Don't dislike it, but didn't fall in love with it like everybody else did, unfortunately. There's this episode when they deal with like this...
okay, let me take over.
Just do it. I can't.
So quintessentially, what has ended up happening was a bunch of Rick and Morty fans kind of obviously want to have their Schezwan sauce. This was in the episode, the premiere of the 3rd season of Rick and Morty. Rick goes on a tirade about traveling to the past so he can taste McDonald's Schezwan sauce, ranting about it near the end of the episode. Not even hours after that episode premiered, you had people going on the Twitter, filing petitions about, to McDonald's saying, oh, hey, we want to get this Schezwan sauce, if that Mulan promo stuff. And so, finally, unbeknownst to me, McDonald's, out of nowhere, I'm not too sure whether it was in over a day or something like that. They just do a stealth announcement or something like that, saying it's like, oh, hey, for one day only, get the Schezwan sauce over in like select store areas. And oh my god, what resulted from that was probably one of the most hilarious things I have ever seen at a fast food chain. So, what's ended up happening is people, understandably so, some extreme Rick and Morty fans, just people just gathering around in general, piled into their McDonald's in order to try to buy a lot of the Schezwan sauce. But the problem being is, because it was like select stores and stuff, some stores didn't get any. Some McDonald's didn't even get any of the sauce. Some got like maybe 10 cups worth of sauce. Some not even like 10 packets. So it went on sale supposedly at the time of this recording, Saturday, October 7th at around 2 p.m. I think it was like Pacific, Eastern, whatever the hell. Basically 2 p.m. across the board. So I've seen images on Twitter, read things on Twitter where people have gotten so irate that people have had to call police on people. There have been certain fights where it's like, you see, there was one picture where there was like these freaking, like these SWAT people are in front of a fucking McDonald's. There's like 5 of them. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's just making me just laugh just the sight of this, because it is absolutely positively ridiculous. I mean, until today, I've understood the various forms of, like, say, fandoms for some specific, like, shows can be extreme. This is taking it above extreme. This is taking it to a fucking, like, apocalyptic fucking level right here.
Yeah.
You're filing at a McDonald's 2 p.m. in the middle of a Saturday in order to get a freaking sauce that hadn't been available for 20 years? You know what you could have done? You could have just went to Safeway or went to a freaking grocery store, maybe print off a recipe to make your own Mulan sauce over at the fucking Safeway, and there you go. There you go. Here, you made your own Schezwan sauce. Hey, maybe do a 3D print of the damn label. I don't know, maybe sell it on eBay for $16,000 like some random dude did. I don't know. Do something with it. It's just...
Yeah. I got a very important question for you, Gables.
Okay.
Who was worse? What was worse, actually? This or the original launch of the NES Classic?
Oh my god, that's actually a good question.
I'm going to go with what was worse was McDonald's, because as far as I know, there was no police and riot gear outside of like Toys R Us and Best
Okay,
Buys.
let's put this into perspective right here. Now, we know the NES Classic, there was like maybe 1 or 2, maybe initially sold.
Yeah.
Not just the entire world, but like for like each individual like retailers.
Justin's got 50% of them.
My area only had like maybe 2 at my Walmart. Well, at McDonald's, even around my county, there was not a single package of that thing even freaking sold. Because it was only select stores in, like, big areas. Whereas the NES Classic was available even to smaller areas to a lesser extent. So, let's put this in mind. There was more NES Classics being sold than McDonald's Schezwan sauce.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's a lot more McDonald's than there are Walmart's, Best Buy, Toys R Us, Target.
That's very true too.
So, but yeah, that I didn't know this was a thing until earlier this afternoon. And I didn't know this is how big a thing it was until a couple hours ago. Yeah, this is. Oh, excuse me. Oh, whew, sorry, Oktoberfest. But yeah, this is quite hilarious. I love this. It's especially funny like watching this from like as a non Rick and Morty fan.
Yeah.
Like I'm not mad about it. It's just funny. It's like maybe this is how people feel when they see people freaking out about NES Classics just waiting at midnight or waiting in line for 12 hours for it, or SNES Classics.
You know what?
I thought it was pretty funny. What?
You know what? This actually makes me like see irony in the span of the same people that are criticizing gamers for like waiting in line for their favorite consoles or their favorite games, going in line to wait for a fucking packet of sauce.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just the pictures, like literally like 300 people stacked in line just to wait for a fucking sauce.
Yeah. I hope it's like a Willy Wonka type of thing where like the sauce tastes terrible.
Oh yeah. I kind of hope so. I hope they just unfreezed it from their fucking freezers for like 20 years ago and just started to serve it. Hey, here you go.
Yeah. And I do want to point out that, like you mentioned, the guy on eBay that sold it, the gallon jug of it. The DCD was his Twitter handle.
Yep.
And he actually, a majority of that money he raised went to Extra Life.
Yes.
Fun little tie in there for you guys.
There you go. It comes full circle.
Yeah. Just want to point that out. But yeah, this is awesome. I love this. This makes me want to go and rewatch the rest of Rick and Morty. Give them a chance.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you and stuff, I'm sort of like a casual Rick and Morty fan. I've watched episodes here and there, but I'm not as extreme as some of the fan base can be.
Oh, I feel like you either had to be a fan of it, like extreme fan, or just didn't like it at all. So,
no, I'm just in the middle.
I didn't realize there was an option. Yeah, no, it's funny. I love the fact that this is a thing, and I hope this continues to be a thing. I hope they just like randomly pop up here and there. Outside of the whole riot gear thing, the whole riot police, that seems like a little overkill. But anyways, should we jump into what we've been playing lately?
Yes.
All right, cool. Is you cool with me going first real quick?
Go ahead.
All right, cool. So I played a couple games. Talked about last week with Justin. Played some more Cuphead. Fucking goddamn, that game is hard. It's so hard. It's so hard, guys. We talked about a lot last week how like the style is amazing. Like this game, it was my concern going into it was like this game's gonna be all style, and the game's gonna be meh at best. Kind of find out this game is actually incredibly well made. The platforming, the boss fights, everything about this game is excellent. But I cannot play this game anymore. I can't do it. It's so hard. I can't do it. I don't have the skills physically or mentally to do it anymore. Like there's 3 worlds. When I talked last week, I think I beat 2 There's like 5 or 6 bosses in each world, and then each world has like 2 platforming levels, and then there's like, and then the other levels are just boss fights. That's it, and they all have like 3 or 4 forms. When I talked about last week, I beat one run and gun level, and I think 2 bosses, and that's on the regular difficulty. I played it a lot like last Sunday after we recorded, and I had this really weird. I put like 6 hours in this game, and I had this really weird stretch from like an hour and a half. I beat like 5 bosses, and got to world 2, and I was just beating them like that, like no real issue at all. Comparative for this game, like some bosses, like one boss in the first world, like the 3rd boss I fought, took me 2 hours, 2
Whoa.
fucking hours to beat, and I kept getting in the same spot and dying, and I finally beat him. So I got to that, got all that, and I beat all these. And I'm like, I'm on a roll, and I kept playing, and I just could not beat these. I spent like an hour on one boss in World 2, and I keep in the same spot towards the end, and I die. So I'm like, all right, I need a break from him, try somebody else. And I fought the other ones for a little bit, and I can't beat him anymore. I just can't do it. I just don't have the skills and the speed and the mental quickness and toughness, all that stuff you need to do this game anymore. I love it. It's incredibly fun to look at. I want to keep playing games because I want to see more bosses. You can, like I mentioned last week, there's a simpler mode you can put it on, and it's called simpler. You fight them, but you don't fight the last form of the boss. But you can't beat the game unless you beat all the bosses on the regular difficulty level.
Oh,
so
there you go.
It's kind of pointless to play the game on simpler mode, other than just to see all the bosses. But you don't really get the gratification of beating them because you really didn't actually beat them. But yeah, I mean, this game is absolutely incredible. I say anybody that is interested in this game, I think there's a demo check out the demo. But be warned, this game is tough as nails. But yeah, I just don't. I don't have it in me anymore. Like, if I continue to play this game much longer, I'm gonna be out an $80 controller and a 65-inch 4K television, and possibly a house. Because there's a few moments where I wanted to just fucking chuck that goddamn controller at my television. The fucking dragon, man, so goddamn hard. Yeah, it's excellent. I have no actual complaints about the game, other than I can't beat the game. That's it. Is that I am not a good enough gamer, and I've talked about it before. I'm not good at video games outside of Madden. So I'm surprised as I got as far as I did. But I'm this is me tapping out. I'm tapping out right now. Done. But the other game I played this week, and I just Evil Within 2 comes out this Friday, and I'm just like, I got a couple weeks now since I've rage quitted Cuphead for the 75th and final time. I'm gonna play another game. So it was either this game or Resident Evil 7, and I didn't want to play Resident Evil 7 and Evil Within 2 back to back. So I started playing the game. I picked this up a few months ago on a sale, and I've been wanting to get to it for a while, and I finally did. It's a game called Rime. Okay. Rime is how it's spelled. So this game, I think it's like $30 maybe. I think it's $30 physically or $20 digitally. I think there's like a price, and it's coming to the Switch I think later this month or year. I think it's October or November. But it is a game that if Last Guardian and Journey like combined into one, this is that game. With a little bit of Wind Waker-ish kind of look to it. I guess more Journey, actually. Maybe a little bit of Wind Waker, like a dash of Wind Waker graphics thrown in there. But this game is incredible. I love this game so much. There's no real challenge to it. There's no combat to it. It is a game where you wake up, you're a child, maybe in his 10, 11, early teens kind of thing stage. And you wake up on this island. You washed up on it. You're on the beach, and you're going around this island and just kind of discovering there's puzzles you got to solve. There's this weird fox that kind of like shows you to the next section you got to go to. He's kind of like your guide.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's an entire game. It's just a mystery. Like the entire time I played the game, I had no idea what the story was until like the end. I figured it out. And kind of in a way they like throw it in your face. Like this is what's going on this entire time. Like, oh, okay. Other than that, there's really no way, I don't really think, of figuring out until maybe the last 45 minutes to an hour. And it's not a super long game. It's maybe 4 to 6 hours, depending on how smart you are as a gamer. So for me, it was like, this took me about 900 hours. So kind of the core thing is just platforming, a lot of climbing, and just puzzle solving. It's not actually, like, I'm not like the smartest guy in the world when it comes to puzzle solving in games. Like, I'm pretty good at Picross, actually, surprisingly. That's more of a math thing to me than anything else. But as far as puzzle games, like, I'm not the best. These games, like, they feel like on the level of difficulty as like a Zelda game,
right?
Like maybe an Uncharted game. Like actually a little harder, more difficult than Uncharted, and the Uncharted a little difficult for me sometimes, but for the most part fairly simple. They're on that level where they're not incredibly hard, but they're when you do solve them, you still feel good and like oh, that's actually a pretty impressive puzzle. Like some of them actually took me a few minutes to figure out. Like I've never was stumped at a spot for 20 minutes or to the point where I had to look up a guide. But this game just went at a really good pace. It's a very linear game. It feels open, but at the same point, like you look at like, oh, this is like a pretty big world you made here, but it's actually a pretty linear game. But it's kind of hard to talk about without spoiling, because it's kind of like, I mean, it's like a journey type of game where it's more like, it's the sound, it's the feel, it's the graphics, it's everything about this game is what makes this game. Talking about it doesn't do it justice, where they have this grand orchestra that hits at like the right points. There's a fox in the game, and someone that loves dogs, I love that fox. I don't even know his name. But he was cool to me. He barks, so he's cool enough to me. But yeah, it's just kind of cool, like the journey that this kid was going on, and like going through this world. There's like cave paintings almost. They're basically paintings, just not in a cave, on the wall that kind of tell you like the story of what's going on in this island. And like you're solving this puzzle on the way through. Man, I don't know what to say about that, spoiling anything, but yeah, I mean, like you move at a decent pace where you never get bored of the puzzles. They add new puzzles, they change puzzles out at a well enough pace for a fairly short game that I was never bored. And by the end of it, I was ready for it to be over, but I was at the same point I kind of wanted more. But I thought everything about this game is fantastic, and I'm not doing a good job of describing why. But I would say check out some stuff on YouTube, watch some videos. You'll know if you like a journey or you want more of a. It's not. I don't know if I want to put it on the scale like say it's as great as Journey, or even to me personally as great. It's nowhere near as good as Last Guardian. But if you're a person that likes those types of games, a game about style and sound, puzzle solving, world building, and with a pretty good story, like check it out. Like the mystery in this game and discovering the mystery and everything is excellent. Might be able to find it fairly cheap now. Like I think you got its highest price was $30, like I said. But yeah, it's an awesome game. It's probably gonna be my game of the year. Man, I don't know what to say about it because there's no combat. It's just puzzles. You can't. I don't know. It's frustrating because I can't describe it better. But it's an awesome game, and I want more people to check it out. Like I said, check out some trailers. Check out some gameplay of it. If you like that style of game, you'll know you'll like that style. I guess I'll say. It's a fairly cheap game, but yeah, that's Rime. Awesome game. I love that game. So yeah, that's really what I've been playing this week. I'm just kind of keeping shit clear. I played Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game, episode 3. Enjoying that quite a bit too. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy the movie, but in video game form, which I love. Guardians of the Galaxy the movies. So if you like that, check that shit out too, because it's pretty funny. The character's great. The music's awesome. All of it's great. That's really it. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to keep my my gaming options open because we are getting to that point where shit's about to hit the fan. Cause once Friday hits, Evil Within 2 hits, and then South Park's 4 days later, then 10 days later, we got Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Mario Odyssey and Wolfenstein 2. So I'm not trying to drive myself up into anything right now. Just trying to keep options open and just prepare myself for the craziness that's about to consume me that is in October. But yeah, that's what I'm playing. What about you, Gables?
You know what? Prior to popular belief, I do play more than just Pokemon games. But
I don't believe you.
But I did manage to finish Pokemon Gold.
Oh, nice.
And that's going to be interesting. And this is definitely an interesting thing. Whereas I finished it around, I would say, like around 26, 27 hours in total. I blazed through all of the after game stuff after beating the Elite Four and the champion. So I went through each gym. The only really big story thing that happens throughout the Kanto region and stuff like that is basically you try to repair the magnet train by going through. And these are basically spoilers that have been around for the past, since 2001, pretty much.
16-year-old game. Get over it, people.
Yeah, exactly. So basically you have to go through and try to not only get to the power plant and stuff like that, to talk to the NPC character that he's missing his part to his freaking generator and stuff, but you had to go back to Cerulean, go through that where the old Nugget Bridge is at, encounter that Team Rocket member that speaks in gibberish. Then you got to go through, find him in the Cerulean gym and stuff, beat him, get the part, return it back to the power plant and stuff. And the guy gives you this move called Zap Cannon. Well, the electric move Zap Cannon is sort of similar in terms of accuracy of Dynamic Punch, where the accuracy-wise, 50% hit rate. So it's probably one of the worst type of hit rates in regards to, say, a powerful move. Now, granted, the move itself is probably pretty close, if not higher than, say, Thunder in terms of power. Or, like, for Dynamic Punch, it's higher than some of the stronger, fighting moves. But, anyway, like I said before, I played through all of the Kanto stuff, going through each gym, and basically I did it with, 4 different Pokemon. Sure, I had my Typhlosion and my Ampharos and stuff, but I just decided I gave Eevee, pretty much a break. I just did not even take it because it was taking way too long just to evolve it into the Umbreon that I wanted. So I just basically used 4 Pokemon throughout that entire Kanto stuff. I beat gym leaders like Erica and Sabrina, and I gave the moves that they handed out for TMs, like Giga Drain and Psychic, to my Xatu. Tutu and stuff. That's what I nicknamed her. And basically, what I went through is when I went through all the Kanto stuff and I went to Mount Silver, I had Pokemon that were at least in their early to somewhat close to at least the mid-50s. So I get to the final battle, which the final battle is against Red, who is the main protagonist of the Red, Blue, and Yellow games. The thing was, I had forgotten one thing about this battle, and that was how over-leveled that Red was in comparison to how you are towards the end of the game. Because here I am, my party's in their 50s, and he starts with a level 81 Pikachu.
Oh, shit.
And so you go through each of his teammates after Pikachu. Pikachu is the highest level Pokemon that he has on his team at 81. The rest are in their mid to late 70s. So going through already of a level disadvantage and stuff, I had to go through and try to wear down this Pikachu, use my Ursa Ring that I have, since I evolved my Teddiursa into Ursa Ring and did all sorts of various other shit, taught it all sorts of various moves. It has Earthquake, along with holding an item called Soft Sand, which powers up the move. I knocked out the Pikachu, but I'll tell you what. The Snorlax... Oh, here's the thing. I go through Pikachu, hardly any problems. Espeon, a little bit of trouble, had to revive a few of my party members. But Snorlax, the constant resting and then waking up after barely doing any damage to it, that got annoying so quick. But I will say, I did not white out. I did not lose once against Red during this final battle. I had enough health replenishing items, enough revives and max revives that I basically had probably one of the most intense battles in Pokemon that I possibly have had in quite a long time. It was definitely the most satisfying when I think about it, because I did it with 4 Pokemon, half of which I've never even used before inside of a playthrough. So what ended up happening was, ironically, it ended the same way as I went through and I played through against Lance, the champion of the Elite Four. Red had his Charizard. I had my Typhlosion. Pretty much at full health and stuff. I had to combine the efforts of a lot of my different teammates in order to damage and try to get this Charizard off the field and stuff. It just came down to at least 2 Pokemon, one of which was my Typhlosion. I used Thunder Punch a couple of different times. I had to hit at least 3 or 4 solid Thunder Punches on this Charizard in order to take him out. But I did it with only 9 HP left in my Typhlosion. 9 HP. I had at least one creature that was still remaining, and it was very vulnerable to fire types. So, all in all and stuff, I beat that game by the skin of my teeth. And man, it just felt really good afterwards. But other than that, I did continue on playing a little bit of Pokemon Diamond. I have not gotten too far from staying in the whole Mount Coronet and stuff. And I do realize it is kind of funny that I go from finishing one Pokemon game that I started in the middle of playing another one, and then continue back to the previous, But like I said before, I'm almost at the Elite Four and Champion, so I'm almost at the end of that game. But what I would like to talk about is something entirely different. You guys may remember this game. Those who were listening, Tyler, you probably remember me playing this a while back, but I played a lot of Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to report I have finally gotten the Platinum on Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Dude, I spent close to around the same time as I did playing Pokemon Gold. I like 26, 27 hours, and I got everything inside that game without even realizing it. I went through and unlocked all the little, excuse me, I had to burp.
He's also drinking Oktoberfest.
Oh, I know, right? I unlocked all the little scenes between different characters on different tracks and stuff. I bought all the items in the store, equipped all these different types of accessories, this, that, and stuff. Quintessentially, the last trophies I had to unlock was just cosmetic stuff. I'll tell you what, for as much as I played that game, I was not bored at all with it. There wasn't slugs at a time where I felt like it was going to be kind of a grind in order to get anything done, you know, unlike Ghost Recon Wildlands, which that did drag on, and there were some parts which were utterly frustrating, what with spawning choppers going down the hill by themselves and into fucking ponds or lakes that I couldn't gain access to, or having random people or something to play with, and then all of a sudden it's like never hearing from them again. You know, it's just, this Persona 4 Dancing All Night Platinum is I think, actually it is. It's the first time that I've actually 100% completed something entirely on my Vita. That's taken away MotorStorm RC, which basically I platinumed the PS3 version and unlocked it automatically on my Vita, you know. So this is definitely a special one. I did that after we recorded last Saturday. So I stayed up until like about 1:30 or 2 at my time in the morning in order to do that, because here's the thing about me, Tyler. Every time that I get to a specific point in a game where I feel like, okay, I'm getting in that groove, I gotta finish this. Sometimes it takes an hour, sometimes it takes about 4. And once I get it done, I am automatically satisfied, and I am just thoroughly good with it. So, yep, that's pretty much what I've been playing for the freaking week, and it's
Nice.
gonna be different come next week.
Cool. Because you're gonna play Star Fox 2.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that you mention it, I did play a little bit of Star Fox 2.
Oh.
I'm so glad you had actually said something about that, because I had almost forgotten. The NES Classic, the NES Classic, being out of stock and all this other shit, but the SNES Classic that I had a chance to play a little bit of it. I actually played through the original Star Fox completely, beat that game. That was fine and stuff. I did the same things that I normally would do. Try playing Star Fox 2. That game is entirely different in terms of, like, how the gameplay style is. It's a combination between Star Fox 64 and, like, Star Fox Command, how it was in the DS.
Ugh.
Well, why I say Star Fox Command is because it's sort of like an overlay there where you have to go to specific points in order to battle against, like different missiles, different enemies and stuff. You're basically trying to protect Corneria from being destroyed by Andros and his forces. Now, along the way, you get to face off against random characters, say like from Star Wolf, like Pigma, that pig that turned traitor and stuff on Star Fox's dad. Then you got Leon and stuff, that chameleon that, it's kind of weird looking at the 2D sprites and his eyes are all moving everywhere. It's just fucking creepy. But what I've noticed, though, is when I go through and battle specific things, now here's the thing. It may be like an overworld map and stuff, but once you get into specific points, you get to go into that sort of like an on-rail style where there's a little map at the corner of the screen where you can check to see where your opponent is at or whatever. And then you just basically go through and just fire upon the enemy. And if you get through and beat them, you can actually finish those little miniature stages and stuff. Like almost barely like in a minute or like barely a few seconds inside of there. Which I thought that was kind of cool. It basically gives you, you know how like in a turn-based strategy game where you move, like say in a Fire Emblem game where you move different spots, face you against your enemy and stuff, and it just flashes a little animated scene where you don't have control over it and do this and do that.
Yeah.
It's sort of reminded me of that. Only there are things constantly happening, like say in a real-time strategy game. The difference being is once you get to that specific point to face off against something, you have total control to where how you're going to beat this thing and how you're going to do that. You and your R wing doing this and do that. I will say, it's definitely fucking strange playing this game. It's not a strange bad, but at the same time, it feels complicated. Like, I gotta not only manage these missiles that are trying to aim towards Corneria, but I gotta also manage trying to beat these different types of, like, star cruisers that are about to fire these freaking lasers at the planet. It's like I gotta micromanage 2 or 3 different things in order to, you know, try to cover my bases and try to advance towards Andros. Whereas, even with the original Star Fox, I had 3 paths I can go by, you know? Like an easy path going straight center, maybe a medium path, maybe in the bottom right, a hard path with a top left and stuff. At least it gives me the option to where I can go forth and progress through. It's a lot simpler that way, I thought. Going with Star Fox 2, it just feels like almost an entirely different game. I mean, hell, this game should have released back then around 1996 and stuff like that, when the game was already like 90% done. I mean, hell, I would have played it. I would have loved to have gobbled that thing up back when the N64 first launched, because hell, Star Fox 2. I love that Star Fox, you know, do this and do that. But at the same time, I don't think this is a bad game. I actually think this is a pretty decent game. I just don't have any fucking clue how to play it. But yeah, that should do it.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Gables Game of the Year 2017, Star Fox 2.
Oh, fuck.
Nobody saw it coming. Little did you know, Justin and Gables are both going to make this the number 1 game of the year. Ahead of Mario Odyssey and Zelda. So.
And then all of a sudden, somebody's going to stealth play Unravel 2.
Fuck you, man. Why are you going to bring that up, man? I gotta go to bed here soon, and now I gotta think about Unraveled. I ain't going to sleep now. And when I do go to sleep, finally, I'm gonna have nightmares about fucking Yarny.
You're gonna have nightmares of fucking Yarny drinking your Oktoberfest. And we'll bet your dog.
Dude, that's fucked. That's fucked. How you shut your whore mouth, Gables. That's just wrong.
Oh my god. Here, Louie. He's just petting it with his fucking yarn.
Yarny will never come near Louis. Okay? Piece of shit. I hope at the end of the game he died in a fire. Fuck you, Yarny. You adorable piece of shit.
Just douse Yarny in a bunch of Schezwan sauce or something like that and have just these random Rick and Morty fans just eat the shit out of it.
Fine with me.
Oh
Fine with me. Probably, definitely, you know, it definitely tastes like shit if it has Yarny in it. So, that's all Yarny's involved with. Shit. Justin. Fucking prick. Anyways, Unravel's a bad game, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I don't know how to transition out of this shit game like Unraveled. But, once again, before we leave, check out extra-life.org if you're interested in the charity and raising money for sick kids by playing video games. Those all sound like great things to me. But if you want to hear more from us, we are on Facebook. We have a page and group, Drunk Nerds on there. Like and join us on there, actually. And then on Twitch, at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there. And then on iTunes, obviously, we're on there. Drunk Nerds Podcast. Best place to go if you want to know when the podcast is out. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a nice little comment. Greatly appreciate it. Jack's got a brand new credit card with your name on it. If you leave us that review. And also, YouTube, Drunkenness Podcast. Subscribe to us in there. Podcast also goes up in there. Give us a like. Send us a nice little comment. We read all the comments that go on there. Most of them are just fake people commenting on our thing. So that's the thing. And then also on Twitch, Drunkenness Podcast. We're on there as well. So check us out in all those places. Leave reviews in all those places if you can. You can actually leave reviews on Facebook for pages. So that's a thing. So yeah, check us out in all those places. Like I said, thank you guys for listening. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next week, everyone, play your games and just be nice to each other. Seriously, there's a lot of dicks in this world. Don't be that dick.
Most of them are in Washington, D.C. Damn it, I thought I could go a week without a Donald Trump thing. Damn it, I did it again. But no, I want to give one little quick thing out to Mr. Petty, Tom, if I may. Thank you so much for everything you've done for not only the music world but the world in general. Rest in power, my friend. But yeah, until next time, guys. Listen to Top Eddie. Have a good weekend. Good week, whatever. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Excuse me. Few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out. And if you like us, leave us a review. And we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.